Hey guys, welcome back to Judo Highlights. So the Olympics is not too far away, and so I'm going to do some prediction videos starting today with under 60. Now some breaking news, apparently there's going to be no Russian judoka at the Olympics, so I've updated the draw. Now I'll just keep this on the screen for a couple of seconds and pause the video if you want to have a more detailed look at it. And you might just be wondering about this draw, what is it, how are these things coming together? So it's only the seeded players that are on it at the moment because everyone else is going to get randomized. But based on the seeding, these guys are meant to meet in the quarterfinals. On paper, they are the most likely to get to the quarterfinals. So we're going to talk about that because it's a high probability. And from that, I'll kind of base my assumptions as to who I think is going to take gold. Now, starting with the left side of the bracket, and from the top, Yang, #1 seed, the most consistent. He's up against Kalmatov. Now Kalmatov, he's only just been pushed into the seeding because of the absence of Abdullayev, and I was kind of liking Abdullayev's chances against Yang. But anyway, I'm sure there are lots of people who are going to benefit from no Russians being present at this Olympics. So he's against Kalmatov. Kalmatov, he has fought Yang a couple of times before, Yang winning both of these contests, so got to pick Yang here. Now for the next quarterfinal, which is Garrigos versus Nagayama. This is not good news for Garrigos. He has lost 6 times to Nagayama and has never won a contest against him. The one caveat though is I think Garrigos has definitely improved over the years, and Nagayama, I mean, sometimes he has amazing performances, but of recently, not the best. So that'll be interesting. Also, the last time they fought, it was 2019, so there's been quite a bit of time. But the numbers, they speak for themselves, and it's kind of hard not to pick Nagayama here. And so that puts Yang versus Nagayama in the semifinals. And we'll talk about that before we talk about the other side of the bracket and the quarterfinals there. Now Nagayama versus Yang, I mean, this has been a problem for Yang all these years, is him against Japanese competition. He really struggles against the Japanese. Nagayama, he is much better on the feet, and there's no way Yang is somehow taking him down to the ground. He's going to be too strong, too solid. So I'm picking Nagayama to win that one. Now let's have a look at the quarterfinals on the right side of the bracket. So in the next quarterfinal, we've got Sadalashvili versus Yildiz. These two have fought before, Sadalashvili winning that one by Ippon. Now Sadalashvili, he's going to be hard to beat. He's 21 years of age, recent world champion. For the foreseeable future, it's only up for Sadalashvili. He can only get better, he can only get stronger. As I said, 21 years of age, still very, very young. So I like his chances here. I like his chances against any of the Europeans. The only way you're going to beat him is if you've got some kind of a different style, like the Japanese or the Korean, or you're really good in the newaza. And Sadalashvili, he's going to be pretty happy about Abdullayev not competing. And Abdullayev has a couple of wins over Sadalashvili, winning on the ground. But anyway, I'm picking Sadalashvili to win this quarterfinal. The next and last one, we've got Mikidze against Aghayev. This is probably the hardest to pick of all the quarterfinals. I think this is definitely going to be the closest, and it might be a flip of a coin. Now these guys have fought before. Aghayev, he won the last one, and then the one before that. Mikidze, he took that one. I was already pieced by both guys. So in these situations where it's really close, you've got to kind of look at the other things, the intangibles, and home crowd advantage, Paris Olympics, Mikidze, he's from France. I think this is going to be a big advantage for him. So I have to go with Mikidze here, getting through the quarterfinal. But then he's up against Sadalashvili, and I don't like his chances there. Now, surprisingly, these two haven't fought before. Although Sadalashvili, he's gone through a lot of other French judoka. And as I said, I mean, Sadalashvili, he's used to this style. He's got the better stand-up. Mikidze, he's not much of a ground guy. And so I'm definitely going to pick Sadalashvili to win this one. And so that moves us into the finals. And Nagayama versus Sadalashvili, Japan versus Georgia. It doesn't get better than this. Once again, this is a matchup we haven't seen before. Sadalashvili, he's gone through a number of Japanese judoka himself, and Nagayama, he's got wins against Georgians, of course, as well. Chikvimiani, he comes to mind. This is a hard one to pick. Nagayama, I think he does crack a little bit under pressure. Apparently, he doesn't plan for his opponents. He just goes in there, lets his kind of body do what it wants to do. Now Sadalashvili, I think he's probably going to prepare a little bit, but I do think in the stand-up, it's going to be a hard battle. Nagayama definitely more tactical, more technical. And I think he'll meet Sadalashvili with the strength. He won't be able to overpower Nagayama like Sadalashvili has done against a couple of the other Japanese at this weight class. So I'm going to pick Nagayama here. And that comes with the caveat that I am a huge Japanese judo supporter. But I do think if he has a good quarterfinal, a good semi-final, once he gets to the final, he's going to be in the groove. But it's hard to tell. Just looking at Sadalashvili's kind of moveset, the throws that he does, I find it hard to see him kind of throwing Nagayama with the tools that he has. He's got a good ochigari though. He could lock up really close and get him with an ochigari. But I do think Nagayama, he might just be a bit too strong in those positions. What Bliev did against Nagayama, that was beautiful. Although I'm not sure Sadalashvili can replicate that. Now when it comes to experience, I mean Sadalashvili, he's been world champion and Nagayama hasn't. But Nagayama, he's been around for much, much longer. He's got a good team behind him. It's a tough one, but I am going to go with Nagayama. And just lastly guys, I should mention some of the wild cards. There are of course more judoka competing, and let me know in the comments if you think someone's gonna come out of nowhere and destroy all these guys. But 3 people who I think are, you know, pretty strong contenders but aren't in the top 8 seeds. So we've got Ink Taivan from Mongolia, Smetov from Kazakhstan, and Kim from Korea. Now interestingly for Korea they went with Kim instead of going with Lee, and Lee was actually seeded. So that is an interesting choice by the Korean team. Kim, I mean, he's very experienced. He's been to the Olympics before. He's getting up there in age, and so some of his performances are better than others. Smetov, he's just another older, experienced guy, but recently he's been looking really good. So he's my number 1 pick to kind of upset one of these brackets. I'm not sure which ones he's going to be in, but it would be really exciting. I think Nagayama deals with him quite easily. I think he could give Sadalashvili a run for his money. And quite a few of these other guys as well. Mikidze, I think Smetov probably beats Mikidze more than he loses to him. And then, of course, Ink Taivan from Mongolia. He's a big, strong guy, can really bully some of these other guys, and he's got good throws as well. Now, I should mention that it's totally possible that all these guys, all these wild cards, and a couple of others as well, Verstraeten, Chikadoa, they could all be in the same bracket. And they could just be this horrible bracket that, you know, it takes some monstrous amount of energy to get out of, and then the performance of the semi-final could be lackluster. You never know, so there's still a lot up in the air, but by the time the actual draw is out, it'll be too late to make a video and kind of do these predictions, so this is what I've got to work with so far. Let me know in the comments guys, let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.